So to begin our test today, I've installed a fresh installation of WordPress. I removed all the plugins. We're going with the basic WordPress theme for the year, and I added some copy to the home page. I also deleted all of the default pages and posts, and I'm going to run tests on the site using these two popular test results. And I haven't ran a test on this new installation, so it'll be interesting to see how it scores. It is a WordPress website on a GoDaddy account, so we'll see how well it loads. So on a mobile over here, we're loading at 90, which is so-so. And the desktop is 88, so that's pretty awful right out of the box. And on the far side here, we also are coming in at a B, so not the best results. Let's go ahead and we'll retest these again. See if we can get a average on how we're loading here. Okay, so mobile is up to 97, and with desktop we're right at 100. So we can't really get much better than this. And it is good to run these tests a few times. I tend to run them 3 times and take the best option out of those 3. And you can see also over here that we're running at an A now, 96%, 96%. All of those other problems that were there just a few moments ago are now gone. What did I do to get them to go away? Absolutely nothing. So often it can be the server is lagging behind. So we want to kind of think about that before we kind of jump onto these scores. So they do fluctuate, okay? All right, so let's do one more just to show that what the average might be. But scoring 100 on the desktop version, that's great. Now remember that our SEO has been ranked from the mobile version, so even though we're getting 100 on the desktop, it'll be the mobile that will determine our ranking. So we are having a big fluctuation here between 90, 91, and 98 for the mobile. We are testing A's over here, but you can see the performance again is down to 90. So that's not great. The desktop is at 99, showing that there is a little bit of a server reduction here. So that's at least helpful to see. All right. So now let's get into the main part of this test, which I am going to install WooCommence. And I'm not going to set up the whole system. I'm just going to simply, all right. It's not wanting to cooperate with me here, is it? Alrighty, so I'm installing WooCommence, which is the standard shopping cart application for most WordPress websites, at least the most popular one that I know of. I'm going to activate the plugin. Okay, perfect. And we can see that WooCommence is now active on the website. Now I do want to point out that if I go to my home page, I'm not even starting with the setup right now. I'm just simply going to the home page, and it is as it is. We now have a couple of new buttons here at the top that WooCommence is automatically added in there. I'm not making any other adjustments. I'm going to go ahead and retest this with WooCommence and see what our scores are like. And again, we have not configured this. We have just simply plugged in the plugin, we haven't added any products, we haven't added any images, and we can see right away that the mobile version has dropped down to 80, so that's a big jump. And our desktop is down to 88, so we're definitely low here. And whoa, we've got an e-rating 47. That's awful results. All right, so let's best out of 3 just to be sure. Okay. Now you can kind of assess that if we were to add more products here with images, descriptions, have those feed to the front page, we would also have to optimize those particular items, and those would also have to populate on the home page. Right now, we've just got plain copy. We're running even slower now, 75. We've got an F over here. We're just getting worse and worse, and 78. So again, one more. Let's do it just for the sake of doing it. And we're in the 78, 80 range for mobile. We're an E or an F. Again, just a simple installation of WordPress's WooCommmerce. This is a little bit better. We're starting to see a little action here on the desktop, doing well with WooCommmerce, but remember, it's going to be the mobile. It's going to give us our ranking. So here we are with the B. So that's doing a little bit better. Again, why is this? Why is it? All I'm doing is simply testing. So we have got some perhaps server lag time, something else going on. We can kind of look in here and see what's big, what's causing, well, our favorites icon. So we could possibly, go in there and change those. I'm going to give it one more. And then we'll try it again. We'll turn off the WooCommerce plugin. We'll try it one more time. And all right, so we're consistently in the 80s, between the 74, low 80s. Desktop has dropped 10 points. We're all over the place in this other test here. We've had an E, an F, a C, and a B. So that's not the best. It's just not that reliable. All right, so I'm going to go back to my plugins and install plugins. I'm going to deactivate. Okay. And let's go ahead and retest. Now, why is this important to know this? Before we even add any content on here, there we go. Our mobile's back up to 96. So it was in the low 80s. So that's a good 16% difference just by installing WooCommerce. Okay, so we've got a D over here. This is not great. We've got 3 seconds to load. Performance is 55%. Again, I always like to do the 3 tests just to make sure we get an average on there. Now, this is a brand new website, remember, so there's no traffic going to this website. So that's also something to consider, doing these tests on a new site rather than one that might have traffic. Well, there we go. We got 97% without WooCommerce. We're at 98% on desktop. These are great loading. And over here, we've got our A score. So we know that WooCommerce in this particular case is having an impact on our website. Alrighty, so one of the ones that let me see, CaptainForm is a form application I have been using for a while. And I'm going to go ahead and install that. Again, I'm not adding any content with the form, I'm just simply turning on the plugin. So what type of impact does that have now on our website? Wow. So we've jumped down to 80%. Not so bad on the desktop, but definitely on the mobile. This is really impacting our mobile in a really pretty bad way. We dropped almost, was it 18% on there? So not a good result. We're getting a B over here, 83%. Again, not great. Let's do these both again. We'll give them one more time. I think we'll be good with that. We'll split the difference on the two. And the main point of this test is like, what impact do each one of these plugins have? That's what we're really looking at. So we are loading 91. That's pretty good. Whoa, the desktop is down to 87. That's awful. So yeah, I'm going to give it one more just to get that average that we have been doing on the previous test, just because those numbers were way off compared to the first one. And then once we get this lot, all right, so we're down to 80% here. So that's kind of consistent. There was two of them at 80. Our desktop is down. Remember when we've got no plugin running, this was loading at 100. We're down 14% over here. And yeah, so we can kind of see that this particular plugin, CaptainForm, is having a big impact. Like I said, we do not have this form on the home page. We're not using the form yet. So even without using the form or without loading up any of its content, say it was a sign up form or get a free quote, those would have another amount, there would be an amount of data on the home page of that we're loading there, but it's not. So this is all just stuff that's loading into the header of the website that's already slowing this down. So I'm going to go ahead and deactivate this. I'm going to do one more here. And I think we're pretty much getting the consistency that plugins are labor intensive. Oh, I want to get SiteKit. That's what it was. This is Google's plugin. Well, I thought it was SiteKit. All right, there we go. This directory is always very precise in what it wants to be asked for, and it doesn't do a very good guessing job. All right, so we've got Google here. We're checking capabilities. I'm not even going to start this setup at the moment. I want to go ahead and see how we're doing on the test run here. After deactivating the other plugins, we now have SiteKit running by itself without it being set up. So we've got 99, wow, on the mobile. We've got 96 on the desktop. So we can see that our hosting provider is delivering content pretty well. This is kind of weird, 81%, and the B over here, and they're saying reduce server time. So we're getting two different results here. Let's go ahead and we'll do our best out of 3. I'm sorry that these tests take so long to process, but I don't know a faster way to do them. All right, so we're pretty good here. We're staying up in the 90s. This SiteKit is not overly impacting. For some reason, it is on the other side. Again, I like to kind of just ignore these initially to see if they're consistent. Here we are getting this consistency, but earlier when we ran tests, we saw this server response show up and then not show up. So it really was a server response rather than something we could change on the website. So let's do one more, and then we'll set up SiteKit and see how different it will be once it's been activated. Okay, cool. So on the Google page speed, this is kind of interesting that desktop is starting to run slower than the mobile, but our mobile is where our ranking's coming from, so I'm pretty happy with that. And if you notice over here, we no longer have that server. So that's what I was talking about in the last step. I could have gone in there and tried to modify and change it, but it's not the problem any longer. So that's something that we need to really kind of think about. There are library blocks in here, which is coming from the CSS. These are coming from the theme. So those are things that we could address with the theme. But like I said, don't just jump on these top issues and think that you're going to solve them, because they may not be something that you even want to address. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go and set this up. And I'm going to do all of my stuff. We're going to allow SiteKit to do its thing. We're going to proceed. And Google has made this setup very, very easy to do. And we're going to do allow. We're almost there. We're going to add the site. Congratulations. Go to my dashboard. Yay. All right. So Search Console is added. We're not doing anything else. Just out of curiosity, how are we doing on the speed? Now, if you notice here, we also have the page site or page speed insights right here as well available to us to connect rather than using this browser version. All right, so that's a big jump. We're down into the 80s. Remember, this was loading at 99, and all we've done is connected to the Search Console. Okay, so got that. Let's connect some of these other services. And it's prepping. We'll do Connect Analytics as well. That's a good one to have. And I'm not trying to judge these plugins, by the way. I'm just simply trying to test them and see how they are impacting the load time on the website. And you know what? I don't actually have a Google Analytics set up for that yet. So, well, let's go ahead and we'll do a quick test and see how our speed is holding up with just a few of those connections established. Okay, so we're at 90 and 91, which is a little bit of an improvement over the last test, but considering that we were at 99 for the mobile prior to making that connection, and on the far side, again, we've got this server response, and we've got some particular requests here. And let's go ahead and we'll do one more test. Now, once we complete this test, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the 3 plugins because I'm kind of curious to see how they work and load together. So there we go. We've got SiteKit working at 97%, which is pretty awesome. 1% over here. We're not having any of the server issues. We do have this block issue, but all of those other ones that were there earlier have now disappeared. So there does seem to be a little fluctuation in our server delivering content. Our desktop here, pretty awful. Mobile, doing quite well. Now, let's go back to our plugins, and I'm going to activate both of these. Give us all three. And we will do a quick test on analyzing all three plugins that are active. Again, they're not populating content anywhere. That would also have data that would need to be transferred, and it would also impact our overall score. But for now, we've got, wow, so we're doing awesome here with a nice happy little 68 here. We've got an F. Oh, that's awful. These scores are awful. So again, we got 7 seconds. There's no content on the page. We just simply have the plugins turned on. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to kind of get across about plugins. As much as I love them, they also create a lot of problems for your website, as well as, provide you services. They do provide you with problems and considerations that you need to consider. And we'll make this the last test here. Again, we have no content on the home page other than a little bit of copy, which really the file size of that is pretty zero. Our test results coming back, we have got a D. So we're running almost at half capacity here. We're at 94%. So that's pretty awful. We're still getting that occasional server and eliminating blocks. But again, when we run these multiple times, they may not always be the problem. Alrighty. So I hope that that was helpful for you. We did look over 3 different plugins. We installed them. We tested their speed and capability of incorporating with the website and what the impact that was on the speed and the scoring that our website gets from Google. So I hope you find that helpful.